You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Simon Javan Okello. I am in Seattle, Washington, and I am really excited to be here with you for another episode of the African Father in America podcast, AFIA podcast. And I have an incredible guest here with me today who is going to be part of the show. Our guest is Nathan Kikwau, who is the CEO of Smarts Foundation, that is a non-profit organization in Kenya under the patronage of Charlene Ruto. This organization is focused on empowering youths, especially Kenyan youth, on how to combat hunger and climate change. I'm going to talk a little more about our guest and the work that he's doing. But for now, I want to just quickly, Nathan, can you just say hi to our audience members before I share today's proverb?
Hello. Thank you, Simon, for having me. It's my pleasure.
Excellent. Thank you again for taking time off of your busy schedule to join us. I am going to put today's proverb on the screen so that those who are joining us on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, can also share with us their perspectives on the proverb, which is from Hausa. And it says that a shining face goes with a full belly. A shining face goes with a full belly. And this proverb is beautiful and it is really in alignment with our conversation today. It teaches us that happiness comes with being content. You know, when we are content with our lives, we must have our basic needs met. And a lot of the time that comes with us ensuring that we are not hungry, we are not thirsty, and then we can have a beautiful shiny face. And that's really the work that Nathan is doing, ensuring that there are more smiley faces around Kenya. But I want to share 3 nuggets of wisdom for you to meditate and think about while we continue with our conversation here. The first one is that these are nuggets of wisdom related to this proverb for the day. The first one is that contentment is a key to happiness. You know, when you're content, even if you don't have so much in your life, you just find yourself smiling. You know, this is why a lot of foreigners visit Africa and they see that we are so generous with the little that we have, and they can never understand that our people are really just content with what we have. Even though we don't have the big cars, the big houses, we're just happy. Number 2, taking care of our basic needs is important for our overall well-being. You know, if you can eat 3 times a day, you will not be stressed. You know, you will not be depressed, even if you don't have access to other things. You know, you don't have a lot of savings, but if you can meet just your basic needs, you will feel that your self-esteem is also in a better place. And then number 3, sharing our blessings with others is a way to show our gratitude and make the world a better place. I think that one is self-explanatory. So Nathan, when we shared this proverb with you, what is it that came to your mind? Share your own perspectives on it, please.
Thanks a lot, Simon. For me, I think you have mentioned what we are doing in as Smarts Foundation is trying to ensure that everyone is satisfied in the stomach, because it's the stomach that's the source of everything: the energy, the satisfaction, the comfort for you to go into your day into day activities is basically when you are contented. Even sleeping, you know, you cannot. We always say that people sleep hungry, but literally you can't sleep when you are hungry. So for me, that was the first thing that came into my mind. But you know, proverbs always have a deeper meaning. And for me, what I got from that was about the physical contentment and the emotional contentment. Like for you to have a shiny face, to go out there and
Yeah, this is Simon speaking. I think Nathan's connection is just
you have to be contented with you as an individual. with what you want to do as a person. You have to be contented first before you go and share out there. So it starts with you, then now you can share anything else out there. So that's what came into my mind.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Nathan. For a moment, I thought I lost you there. Your connection was a little unstable, but I think we have you back. I just love your perspective on the proverb. But now I want to take you. Hey, Nathan, can you see me? Can you hear me? I hear you now and I see you. I feel like the connection is a bit unstable, but we are going to continue regardless. Are you there, Nathan? Okay. Hey, Nathan, can you hear me? Okay, great. Excellent. Let's keep going. Again, thank you to those who have joined us. I just want you to make sure you take a minute and subscribe to the channel. My special guest today is the CEO of Smarts Foundation, which is an incredible non-profit organization that is empowering Kenyan youth to combat hunger and climate change. And Nathan, if you can hear me, I just feel that Nathan should probably get out and come back to the show. So if you hear me, I would recommend that you get out and then come back in. But if you can hear me, okay, I think that's the best thing to do. Anyhow, for those who are joining me, thank you so much. I am incredibly grateful for the opportunity to have your attention. You know, there is so much value in time. And I am really happy that we are talking to a young Kenyan leader who is the CEO of Smarts Foundation, a non-profit organization under the patronage of Charlene Ruto. You know, I'm excited to talk more about the work that they do. And when he comes back, I also want to talk a little bit about his story. You know, with every individual in the world, there is always a story about how they started. And I love sharing my own story of when I was 8 years old and how my mom gave me an opportunity to learn and become a leader, you know, under her mentorship. And so when we have Nathan back, we will be able to talk a little more about his own story. So I'll just bring him back on the show right now. Hey, Nathan, are you there? Excellent. Say something. I want to make sure I can hear you. Are you there, Nathan? Okay. Hello. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Excellent. Great. We will keep going despite the connection challenges. I just want you to speak about the story that inspires you. I was just saying earlier that I grew up in Kisumu in Manyata, and when I was 8 years old, my mother gave me a bicycle and asked me to help her distribute milk and bread in our neighborhood. And so that marked the beginning of my discipline as an entrepreneur, my hard work as a young Kenyan, similar to some of the youths that you're inspiring. So I wanted you to share your own story of something that happened when you were around 8 to 12 years old that continues to inspire you to play the kind of roles that you are playing currently.
So for me, when I was growing up, I grew up in Bomet. That's the central part of the Rift Valley. It's an agricultural land. We are blessed with a constant generous people, and they're like a lineage of agriculture, whereby our ancestors have been farming since before. So when I was growing up, I was brought up by two mothers. One was living in the city, and the other one was living in the rural part of Bomet. So I used to go home every weekend to say hi to my mother. Then on the weekdays, I'd go back to the city for maybe get quality studies. So this time I went back home for my weekend, and I was I was trying to pick some fruits from the guava plant. And then, being a kid and being cheeky, I fell from the tree head down into the ground. And my mother was very furious with the tree. So she took, and literally, instead of cutting down the guava tree, she pruned the tree, all the branches, saying that this guava plant wanted to kill my son. So 1 year later, we received a bumper harvest of the guava fruits. So and I was asking my mom, was like, is this a sign that this tree is trying to tell you that you shouldn't have destroyed it? It produces more than the usual. So for me, I hadn't learned about the pruning aspect, that when you prune a tree, it produces more. So that gave me a curiosity, like, hey, what's really happening here? And I try to ask from my friends, is it so that's what inspired. Up to date, I came to learn that in the traditional society that we are living in, most of their craft, but they don't know that. Do it over and over again and say, like, okay, I've mastered the craft. Then up to date, I always try and help people, mostly in the agricultural sector, that okay, you should learn new techniques and new ways. And also for me as a person, it's what is it that I am doing that's why I'm prospering like this? What is it that I'm doing to get this and this right? So that's a story from my childhood that always inspires me up to date.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Nathan. And to everyone who is joining us for the show, thank you so much. I just want to, I love stories, and that's part of why I always ask my guests to share this kind of stories to take us back to really what drives who you are today. But because we're having connection issues, I just want you to share with us a little more about the work that you do with Smarts Foundation. How did it begin? Where are you guys now, and where would you like to go? When you look ahead in the next 5 years, what is it that would make you so proud as the CEO of Smarts Foundation?
For me, it's when I came up with this idea, and my team, we sat down and said, okay, well, we have an issue here. It's populated, it's congested. Why are we leaving behind the fertile lands in our rural areas? We've been studying in the social studies about rural urban migration. But when I was doing my internship in Israel, the the rural areas were more admirable than the cities. People were trying to make the rural areas more productive, more sustainable, more comfortable for you to stay there and at least enjoy. Then on the weekend, people would troop back there. Then why should we just stay there and make that place comfortable? So that's when we thought of trying to get youth into farming, since our population comprises mainly of the young people, and the young people don't have employment. But it is through agriculture that we can create employment and also solve the issue of food insecurity in our country. Because sometimes you find people producing a lot more in a small land, yet we have a big land and producing less. So my main reason, what will make me happy in the next 5 years, is try and see that Smax Foundation in our database, we have only managed to do, let's say, 10,000 youth to join farming and to be successful, not just join. That's my target in the next 5 years. And with 10,000 youths, it doesn't mind the number of acreage. How many people are we feeding, and how many people are out there advocating for the same, for the youth to join farming, to become a venture that's more sustainable. The government to try and offer solutions and opportunities for them. So that's my main aim. What will make me happy? Try to see youth in farming and feeding the nation, so that you don't have the issue. In case of any drought, we have a food bank that is secure for several years and several months.
Yeah, I really love that. I really love the vision that you have. I was looking at your website, the website for Smarts Foundation, and I saw that you have the Lodokojek model farm. And part of our audience members have never been to Kenya before. So I want you to just give us a virtual tour of Lodokojek model farm. What is happening there? What are the smells? What makes you happy every time you walk into this model farm? And then after that, I want you to talk about the recent Africa Climate Summit. I'm sure you attended it, and it seemed like it was an incredible success. So first of all, give us a virtual tour of the model farm, and then speak about how it felt for you to be at the Africa Climate Summit, and what you think some of the takeaways were for those of us that could not make it.
So it's in the northern part of Kenya, and it is an arid and semi-arid land whereby the land is bare. And on my first, actually, it was my first time to go to that side of Kenya. Imagine I've lived in Kenya for the last 25 years, but I've never been to Samburu. So on my arrival, it was you find 2-3 young school kids, let's say, and then a bare land with just thorns, and then our primary schools now with students smiling and very happy. Then it's supper time, and they are only serving a full plate of rice, just pure rice, nothing else. So it's basically you take the rice and water. But why is the aspect of the milk from the cows they are keeping? Where is the aspect of the meat from the cows they are keeping? But you find out that it is the cultural aspect whereby you keep the cows for prestige, not for food. So the kids just take care of the animals the whole day. They take them to graze, then they go back home to their parents, and now they have to look for money to purchase food. So they don't have the economic aspect of knowing how to make money. They depend on donations and everything. Then the main thing that came into my mind was, and where do they get this food? So we found out that there are some people doing a feeding program in the region, but we then have a meeting with them, and they tell us that they keep feeding them each and every month, but it's not something sustainable. After feeding someone, then what do they do? So we thought maybe we can just find a solution to why this land is not productive. So we did the soil test and everything, and lucky enough, we found out that the land is very productive. You can do something. So I talked to some of our partners. They donated drip irrigation kits, some funding. Then I went there with my knowledge and our team of experts, people expert in communication, sharing stories, and also my colleagues in the agricultural aspect. Then we set up a model farm. Within 2 months, we had contracted the Ministry of Water to do a borehole, and also
Thank you.
to put the livestock. They take the livestock very far away. Hey, yes, Simon.
For a moment, I lost you there, so I was just ensuring that I engage our audience members. For like 30 seconds, you are talking, but I could not, I could not get a response from you. So keep going, keep going.
Okay. Or can I? My network is unstable.
Yeah, your network is unstable. It has been unstable the whole time. So we will just carry on with the show, but you will book for another time where we can have you back on the show again. So in the next couple of weeks, because I would really love for us to have you. Now we are getting a glimpse of the work that you're doing. We are getting a glimpse of your story as a young Kenyan leader. I didn't know that you're 25 years old. Did you say you're 25 years old? Yeah, anyhow, for those who are joining us, I'm here. I'm joined here by Nathan. Keep going. Keep going.
Maybe Simon,
Yeah.
for clarity, just give me 2 minutes since it is heavily raining and I think it's affecting our Wi-Fi.
I
Maybe
see.
I can opt, it's the El Nino season, so maybe I can opt in into my mobile data directly
Okay,
instead of
that
the
sounds
Wi-Fi.
good. That sounds good. That
Yeah.
sounds good. So take 2 minutes while I just engage with our audience members here. I will just share some upcoming events with our audience members. So thank you again to all of you who are joining us for this show. While Nathan is fixing his internet connection, I just want to talk about the Africa Day Business Forum that is coming up on September 30th. This is one of the only events that I know of since I started, since I moved to Seattle, Washington. This is one of the only events that brings African leaders, African business owners, African governments to the Pacific Northwest. Through this event, the city of Lagos in Nigeria now has electric ferries. Kampala in Uganda has electric ferries. And there will be a company that is showcasing electric buses that will soon be taken to Africa. So multiple cities will become, more energy efficient and green that way. So you should attend the Africa Day Business Forum. Connect with me or go to Eventbrite if you want to get the tickets. And then I also want to talk about this Sunday. We have an incredible dinner that I am excited about. If you love food, then you should not miss the upcoming dinner series that I have been producing as well. Since 2016, I have been organizing a very, very fantastic dinner series. It used to... Hold on for a second. I need to bring our guest back on. The dinner series that I'm talking about used to be called... it used to be called the One Vibe African Dinner Series. And then when it was happening at Cafe Avol on Rainier Valley, for those who live in Seattle, Washington, it was called the Avol Night Series, and then now it's happening at Langston Hughes Performing Arts Institute, but we are bringing it back as the Taste of Madaraka Festival, because we're already priming our community members across the US for the upcoming 10-year anniversary of the Madaraka Festival that I have been producing consistently. So for now, I want to bring back our guest. And now I just want you to take us back to Lodokojek Model Farm, and share with us, you shared with us a little bit of how you all established it. But now when you walk in there, what are some of the plants that are growing there, Nathan? What are some of the... I saw that you guys also do a beekeeping project that your patron is very, passionate about. I want you to speak about both of those.
Okay, sorry for the previous issue. So I'll go right into Ladokejek Model Farm. That's in Samburu County. So we managed to plant 5,000 heads of cabbages and then onions, bulb onions. And also we managed to train the community on beekeeping, since we believe that beekeeping is an economic activity that can blend well with the pastoralist communities. So in those regions, there's a deep-rooted culture whereby people are used to just taking care of cattle and sheep and goats, nothing else. You don't do like crop farming. You just keep your livestock, and also the sad part is that they don't know how to monetize their way of life. Like, we need to sell these cows, we need to improve the breed so that you can get more milk and everything. So we thought of introducing beekeeping as part of our initiative. It is part of our Youth to Farm initiative, and it is the initiative that our patron likes most. For her, she has more than 500 beehives in their different farms, across the country, and we call her B Mom because of she keeps the foundation as a colony, ensures that everything is okay and that we are faring on well. So the aspect of beekeeping is a symbolic one too, that people should be united and do something great. And for her, she does it as a business and also as a way of helping the different communities to try to adapt into agriculture. So what we did in Lodokejek, we set up a half an acre with drip irrigation kits to save on water that we have and train the students in the schools about farming. And then thereafter now we take them through selling the produces to the market and also teach them about basic accounting so that they can learn the whole value chain of agriculture.
I love that. I love that. I have so many questions for you. So we definitely have to do a second session. Your connection is perfect. It needs to be where it is now for the next conversation we have. But I want you to talk about the Africa Climate Summit that just happened and speak to that for a moment. You know, I know you might have made it there, but how did it feel as a young Kenyan to be there as the leader of Smatch Foundation, to be there with all these incredible world leaders and African leaders that were there? But also, what are the takeaways for those of us who could not be there in person? What were maybe the 3 takeaways that you want to share with us?
So for me, as a youth, the African Climate Summit was a defining moment whereby the African Youth Climate Assembly gave out their declaration whereby we are requesting the world leaders and the African leaders to involve us in the conversation. We wanted the ICA to be embedded in the African Union structures so that we can be able to voice out our issues. Also, in part of the ICA declaration, we had an aspect of requesting for inclusivity in the climate conversation, the people with disabilities, to be involved in the conversation. And also the main agenda was also requesting for the climate action agenda to be devolved further into the schools. The First Lady of the Republic of Kenya launched a learners pavilion, whereby we have a climate awareness and environmental awards for the young people. And for me also, my takeaway lesson as someone who is in the adaptation and resilience part of agriculture is that apart from fighting for the financing for climate action and the global south at large, whereby we are asking the global north who are polluting more than they are feeling the effects, is that to be part of the journey in trying to adapt to the effects of the climate change. So the African Climate Summit really was an avenue whereby people met, discussed, exchanged ideas, and made networks up to the culmination whereby there was the Nairobi Declaration, as we head to the UNGA and COP28. So we hope that the demands and the conversation that we had as African nations should be included in part of the deliberations that were made. So that was my takeaway. And right immediately after the African Climate Summit was the inclusion of the African Union in the G20, which for me was a bit of a success. I appreciate that, and my urge to young people in the nation is that the African continent we should avoid more of advocacy and go into adaptation and resilience for us to help and save our people. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. So we are coming towards the end of our time together today, but I want to give you space to talk about a couple of things. One, I want you to think about how those who are watching can support your work, and also how they can stay connected with you. But first, you're working with one of the most visible and well-known youths in Kenya, your patron, Charlene Ruto, and I just want you to talk about how that feels like, because a lot of people see the work that Charlene is doing just from far, from social media. I was one of those people before we were able to have this conversation. How is it like to work with her? You mentioned that she's like the mother of bees because of how passionate she is about beekeeping. Share with us just a little bit about the dynamics and just how it feels like to work with someone from the first family, and also, there are a number of other youths that are doing similar work. Do you guys take time to go out and look at other youths who are trying to do similar things and bring them up and support them, so that it's not only you guys who are trying to reinvent the wheel? I think you mentioned that you guys are not trying to reinvent the wheel, but you're trying to support other people too. So speak to that, especially because there was a comment here where somebody was asking, do you guys have vacancies at your foundation? Do you guys want to partner with other people in Kenya who are doing similar work? So speak to that, and then let us know how we can support you.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to say working with Charlene is an honor, and I always appreciate daily for her giving me the chance to lead our foundation and to be on the forefront of trying to champion youth into farming and share her vision to the world and to the youth at large. So it's an honor, and it's, you see, we say, to whom much is given, much is expected. So that's the position that we sit in, me and my team, whom we have been entrusted with, and we are always grateful. And one thing about our patron is that I can say, out of all the people I've met in those high places and high-ranking position, is that she's very humble, and she really understands the problems that the youth are facing. And for her, she has done sign language. She actually graduated 2 days ago from the Kenyan Sign Language. So for her, it's more of inclusion for everyone. Do not leave anyone behind. So yes, we always receive the vacancies. Yes, do you have an open opportunities and let's say vacancies? But as a foundation, we are very young. We have only 1 year, and to make one thing clear is that we are not being funded by the government. We are a non-governmental organization. It's that maybe the visibility, what we gain from the government is also information, but the information is accessible to everyone. So we are not being supported by the government in terms of funding or anything. It's our own initiative, and also she's for the funds that we do projects, it's from the donors and partners that we get who share the common vision with us. And we are not reinventing the wheel. We are partnering with the people who have been in the industry to learn from them and to take forward their conversation and their impact and their stories, since we are the youth and we want to take this conversation and have them for the future generations who are coming, to the children. That's why we are working in the schools. So yeah, we are asking for support to reach out to different parts of the country, and we will be having our foundation launch soon. That is on November 10th, whereby we seek to showcase what we have done and our vision, and also to interact with our partners and the people who are willing to support us, and now craft a way forward with them. For us, it's not about SMACS as a foundation. We say SMACS is an umbrella or a tie that brings people and the youth in the space together. So we are also thinking of coming up with leadership programs to support the youth and to nurture them, not just to those who have gone to school, but also those who don't have basic education. They need to be part of the journey and the conversation. So that's much I have for the foundation, from the foundation part. And maybe for people to support us, you can always reach out to me via my social accounts. That is at Facebook, Nathan Kikwai, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Kikwai _ JR. The JR name is because my dad is called Kikwai, so I have to add the JR for respect.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
yeah.
And then for those who want to check out the website, it's smartsfoundation.org. I just want to make sure I do this correctly. Do you want to go ahead and go ahead and
We shifted to
okay, go ahead.
we shifted to SMACHS .foundation.
Excellent. Thank you again, Nathan, for making the time. Is there something that you really want to talk about that I didn't ask you during our entire conversation?
Maybe just an appreciation to our partners who have been supporting us, and just to ask people to join us in this conversation and this journey of trying to impact people in the rural areas and trying to get youth into farming by creating more spaces and ensuring that we have a safe food value chain, and that we can trace where our food come from. And maybe the last message from our patron is that let us embrace beekeeping, let us embrace farming. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you again, Nathan. For those who just joined us, thank you for taking your time. My guest today is Nathan Kikwao, who is the CEO of Smarts Foundation. He shared the link to their website. He talked to us a lot about the amazing work that they're doing. And you should follow him on the social media platforms he shared. And we also talked about today's proverb at the beginning of the show. You should let us know your own thoughts about it in the comments. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Nathan, just stay on. I'm going to wrap up the show, but I want to just say a few things with you. Thank you again, and I'll see you all tomorrow, same time, same place.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.